Hey guys, we're still on the multiplication train. Choo choo. But today we're just going to talk really quickly about repeated addition and arrays because they're all connected. Repeated addition, arrays, multiplication expressions and equations, groups of, they're all related and they all can be used interchangeably. I can ask, hey, give me an array, and I could give you the repeated addition, and I want you to create an array from that. So I want you to know how to do that as well. It's important. So here I have my graphic organizer, and we are actually going to now relate repeated addition with an array. Okay, because I may give you this and ask for this, and we need to know how to do that. So let's get straight into the whiteboard and look at some examples. Because when we worked on arrays and repeated additions, we asked two questions. So when we move from repeated addition to array, well, which set of questions do we need to ask? It depends on what I asked for. So let's get into it. Always remember, what you do depends on what I asked for, okay? So here we have my whiteboard, and I am going to give you an array. And here are my instructions. Write an addition problem, expression for the array. Okay, write an addition expression for the array. Let's create the array. I'm just going to randomly pick something. Ooh, I love flowers. We'll do a flower. So cute. And we'll keep it simple. Here's one. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to create the array. And we are going to write the addition expression. So what do we know about arrays? We know that arrays are always rows versus column times columns. Now, it's okay to write down information that you know, even if you don't use it. So we might not even use this for the answer, but it's okay to write it down because it helps us clear our thoughts to get to where we need to go, okay? So we do know about arrays is that it's always rows times columns, but am I asking for multiplication? No, I'm asking for addition. So when we move from array to addition, the first question you should ask yourself is, how many columns? And then the next question you should ask yourself is, how many in each column? Those are the two questions you should ask yourself. We'll put that right there. How many columns? How many in each column? So let's do it. How many columns do we have, guys? We have one column, two columns, three columns. We have three columns. How many in each column? Well, we have three in each column. One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three. The easiest way to do this is to write the amount in each column right underneath and circle it. And then put a plus sign in between. Plus, oh, that's not a good color to choose. Plus, plus. And there's your expression. 3 plus 3 plus 3. That's it. 3 plus 3 plus 3. Let's do another example so that we can see the differences because I gave 3 and 3. So that can be a little confusing sometimes. So what we're going to do is I'm going to clear it And we're going to use a different number. Okay, we're going to use a different number. Let me do this. I want to put that problem back. And I just want to add to it. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Let me just erase this. So we're going to stick with our roses. And I'm just going to add to it. Now I'm going to create an extra column of roses. Because we definitely need to see it with two different factors, okay? So now how many columns do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 columns, okay? Bingo. How many in each column? We have 3. Remember I said at the bottom of each column, go ahead and write how many is in each column and circle it to help you. 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? Now, to put it in repeated addition, all we have to do is put the plus sign in between. Now you can see why writing down how many columns is important. Because when we check ourselves, the number of 3s or the number in each column has to match. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Now if we had 5 3s and we said our columns were 6, well then hey, we're missing something. These two, the number of 3s here has to match how many columns. And if it does, you're on the right page. Okay? So see here, how many in each column is 3? 1, 2, 3. How many columns? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer is 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Another way to check yourself is we always know it's rows times column. How many rows do we have? 3. How many columns? 4. 3 times 4. That's another way to check yourself. Okay? So that is a way to go from an array to an addition problem. Let's do an addition problem to an array. So now I am going to erase everything and start fresh. So now I'm going to do the addition problem. Oh, I can do 7? Yeah, let's do 7. And having some technical difficulties going backwards, whatever. So we'll do 7 plus 7 plus 7, okay? And we will create an array. So here's the instructions. Create an array using the repeated addition expression. So here's our instructions. You create an array using the repeated addition expression. So what was our 2 questions with repeated addition? Let's write those down. First question was, how many times is the number, is the factor, gotta use proper vocabulary, factor being added? Which remember, that was our first factor. 2 was, what is the name of the factor being added? And that was our second factor. So that's what we know so far. But we need to create an array. So let's see how that relates, okay? How many times is a factor being added? Let's answer that question. It's being added 4 times. So I'm going to write the number 4. Here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's where I get 4 from. Okay? So what do you think we should do? Should we create 4 rows or should we create 4 columns? Oh, yeah, that's right. When we're creating an array, it's always rows times columns. And the first factor is always the rows. So we need to create 4 rows. Very good. So let's go ahead and get our emoji, our symbol, whatever you want to use. Let's grab that really quickly. And I think I want to use, I'm not going to waste too much time. Look, oh, I love avocados. We'll do avocados. So we definitely want 4 rows. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm actually going to move it over just a little bit. Okay, so now we have our 4 rows. Now let's answer our second question. What is the name of the factor being added? 7. Okay, let me write 7 over here. And remember, when we do an array, it's row times column. The second number is always the amount of columns. So we need 7 columns. Okay, we need 7 columns. Let's do it. Okay, here's column 1. And to help me, I'm actually going to even write that because sometimes we don't count this first one because we're like, oh, it's the rows. We still have to count this as a column. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, just to keep myself together. Now let's get those avocados on there. And it will take a few minutes to do 7. Maybe I should have did 5, but I really, really, really love avocados. You can make guacamole with them. You can put them on a sandwich. You can put them in a salad. You can just eat them with a little bit of salt and pepper on them. I mean, there are so many things you can do with an avocado, and they're good for you. So I encourage you, go get 7 times 4 avocados. No, don't get 7 times 4. Get a couple. All right, so we're wrapping up my array. I have 4 rows because that's how many times the factor is being added. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the name of the factor being added is 7, so that's how I know how many columns. How do I check myself? Rows times columns. Rows times columns. How many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many columns? 7. So it's 4 times 7 is 28. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 21, 28. Ooh, I skipped count. So the answer is 28. Very good. And now look at you. Ooh, round of applause. You have now done repeated addition to an array. So proud of you guys. La, 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 la. Till next time. Bye, guys.